the Dipped in Nonsense podcast. Wow, what a beautiful day, evening. I don't know what time you're listening to this, but all I know is it's a great time, isn't it? Man, we got such a special episode for y'all this week. We have a guest with us who we will introduce momentarily, but first off, let's start off with the man of the hour.
Yo, what up? It's your boy Kevin, aka Atticus Warhol, aka Lab the Rat, aka Genghis Kev.
Sevy Sev, Cash Money, Sev the Savage.
You already know who it is. It's your boy Q coming with that heat every week. Let's get it. And this week's very special guest, please introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are.
All right. I don't have any nicknames. Damn. I wish I did. Or have my own sound effects. My name's Kentaro. I'm a entrepreneur and muralist in Los Angeles, California.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Wow. It's going to be such a fun show. So you being, an artist and all, I'm sure you've seen this new app. What's it called that the kids are all playing with?
I believe it's called Lensa.
Lensa?
Oh yeah.
Give everyone, give them 20 pictures of yourself, and then they just generate tons of avatars for you.
Interesting. Have you guys done it?
I've done it, and they're cool. They're cool.
They do look really cool.
They look like me. Some are,
I mean, it just seems like a glorified photo editing app, like for Lensa. Have you guys played with Midjourney?
No.
Or like DALL-E too?
No.
So look at like actual intense, because I wouldn't call that AI. It basically takes a picture of you and then is able to like reformat it into a whatever you guys see on Instagram.
Yeah.
If you guys look at Midjourney, you could give it a prompt similar to chat.openAI, ChatGPT, and it pumps out these crazy. Are you able to like pull stuff up on this podcast?
No,
like
not
images?
on the screen here.
Dude, like literally, you could tell ChatGPT. Some of the things people have been playing with is ChatGPT. You tell it to write a story about something. You give it a prompt in the form of Hemingway or whoever you want.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And then you feed that into Midjourney, and it starts creating images for that. It's insane.
What?
Wow.
Look up pictures from it. It's like the most unbelievable shit. It's amazing.
So you just took AI and had it write you an Ernest Hemingway story, and then pumped that into another AI to give you the imagery of it?
Oh yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's like mind blowing.
Oh, okay, I've been seeing there's
wow.
like a TikTok and it like throws in like hip hop songs like Nas or something, and then somehow it's like some AI, created image or something. I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah.
What?
So
Like
here's
based
an
off
example.
Nas?
Yeah, like I'll try
Oh
and
my
find
goodness.
it.
So there's this image. It looks like very detailed, like high conceptual
yeah.
art.
Really?
That's really insane.
I don't even know what the prompt like.
Because with that
It's
prompt,
like McDonald's, like cyberpunk era.
All hail the cheeseburger.
yeah.
Oh, man.
But that's computer generated off a prompt.
It's pretty wild,
Yeah,
my
no, so
God.
that's what they're talking about when they mean no AI, not our profile pictures.
I welcome it. I'm stoked about it.
Cool.
I don't know.
I feel like there's a lot of artists that are like not messing with it. So why are you excited?
I mean, I think all these people that are like, it's gonna kill my career and it's gonna kill our. It's like you believing that is gonna kill your career.
Oh,
Like
Yeah.
you believing that technology, like human creativity, innovation, we just adapt.
Yeah.
But I was having this conversation with someone, but when the computer first came out and people were afraid that accountants and pencil pushers,
knocked
writing
out.
into Excel sheets were gonna get knocked out. But the reality is they just shift positions, or they're able to adapt or use that more efficiently for whatever it happens to be, whatever it grows into.
It's just the fear talk, huh? It
It's
get
fear
people
talk.
scared and not wanting to like embrace the future.
Oh yeah,
You
they get
know?
scared. They go buy a Donald Trump superhero NFT. Like this comforts me.
Yeah. Let me get this NFT.
Let me print it out real quick.
That's pretty wild. Do you see an industry developing where artists like yourself, can like take advantage of AI art and it gets accepted and bought?
I think I think AI art is probably going to start looking pretty similar until it evolves into the next thing, and then it's going to break off into different genres. But I think traditional artists are going to use like AI to supplement or make their art better in the future. I think that's what's going to happen.
Like collab with the AI.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly,
cool.
exactly.
kind of reminds me of like how like people like Cause and James Jean, they'll use Illustrator to make their thumbnail bigger, but then they will produce the giant like physical piece, which is like, I don't know, like 10 feet tall and paneled across, you know, like 30 feet.
Oh,
But
yeah.
but that's like kind of like the step. But imagine if like you as an artist put your style in and you're like, generate something for me, and then you're like, I never thought about that, but then you repaint it and you kind of use it as a tool for yourself to make newer or better art.
In Midjourney, I'd be really curious to see what a because James Jean has so much art.
Yes.
And let's just use him, or Cause. If you throw in like 30 examples of your art style, the AI could start generating art in your art style.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
crazy. Because all it needs is reference images.
Yeah.
And that's why deepfakes work, which is another form of AI.
Yeah.
They have so much footage of Tom Cruise or Joe Rogan or whoever it is that they could just
Make them do anything.
versus us.
Yeah, they were doing
Yeah.
something similar with people's voices. If you're a podcaster, you said every like syllable and kind of enunciation.
Oh, yeah.
That they could take your word. So they're doing it to Keegan Michael Key. He's like, I never said that. Like, what? Why would I say? You're gonna get me canceled. And it's because he said just about everything under the sun that, you know, someone could manipulate it and kind of like utilize it for whatever benefit. But I think it's like, it's crazy that, you know, all 30 images, that's it. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's 10. I think it's even less than that. Like for the basic, whatever it is, the more you have, the more the computer has to learn off of, the better. And that's how they operate off, like just source.
have you delved into like how exactly it kind of like you submit these images, but what is it like reading? What is it like the?
So I studied this in college actually.
Oh, really?
I studied cognitive science.
That's
so
good.
it's like neural networks. Do you know how like neural networks work in general?
Enlighten us.
So basically, it's like in out, but like anything. A computer takes a source in, calculation, output. Right. A neural network is able to take all these things in a web that turns into another web of calculations and continue to expand to create an infinite number of possibilities and be able to deal with an infinite number of situations.
Wow.
And so for this, the more information that OpenAI ChatGPT is able to take from Google and all these places, it could start creating, you know, novel thought,
Wild stuff.
novel,
That's so crazy.
The
novel
future.
production.
Future's crazy, man.
There's no slowing down now, right?
No, dude, I'm stoked. I mean, I grew up in like when the internet first came out, you know, and I'm like pretty fucking good at Googling.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the kids that are growing up with this, and they're gonna be masters at using AI.
Yeah, it's gonna be
It's
fascinating.
gonna be
I think
crazy.
we're about to go through an adjustment period after playing with the open AI and just my experience with that. I was like, oh, geez, this is gonna be implemented like across the board. Like we're gonna have to adjust and get comfortable with using AI to stay competitive or relevant. I feel like could make just the efficiency of being able to instantly have a fully formed thought presented to you. It's amazing.
Well, you're in film. When that shift between old film to digital happened,
Yeah.
people were like losing their minds.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we just have to learn to work with it. Pretty much, like things are always gonna be, you know, evolving, and it's up to us to evolve with it, and hopefully we don't get too lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
Because like I was even just thinking now, like becoming like so reliant on this technology, I imagine, you know, like we're already, you know, Googling everything we need answers to. Imagine just our dependency on like this type of AI, and you know what were to happen if like the power grids shut off. I'm just kidding. But no power and we don't know how to do things. I don't know.
Would you guys accept if there's like a solid state drive that you can install into your brain where you could store infinite information? Would you guys install it?
Shit, that's a
I'd
good
wait
question.
for version 3.0.
yeah.
Because you know it's like the first couple, it's like, can I wait for the PS Brain Pro?
Yeah.
Right,
You know, the first ones are always a little glitchy, you know? It's like when you're like, have you ever played Cyberpunk?
And I know of it.
Yeah, so it's like when someone's like walking, all of a sudden you just see their head just psst. I'm like, oh man.
Oh,
Didn't
it's
get
short
the-
circuit.
Didn't get the new version. You should
Yeah.
update the firmware.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I think eventually we might move that way because, you know, I mean, the only thing that keeps our phone from, our body
Right.
is just that we can set it down. But for the most part, we're always kind of, give me more content.
I might get the implant.
Yeah. Not off the bat.
I might get the implant. You know what? Just calculate things.
What did
fast,
David
but-
Bowie say? Never be the first to do anything.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
funny.
I'll watch these
agree.
people,
Well-
because there's gonna be someone,
Well, man.
out there.
That's really fun. So let's get to know you a little bit more. We want to hear more about our guest. What kind of, well, you said you muralist art. What got you, I guess, started on that route?
So I mean, previously I was more into athletics, although I've been into art all the time, since I was a child. And I think for me, growing up in an Asian household, I didn't ever think art was a reality, although I loved it, and also didn't think sports was a reality, which is probably like a mindset that probably stopped me from reaching certain levels. But there was a point where I was like pushing my body to go further and further, and there was a point where I wanted to like push my brain to go further and further, which is why I studied neuroscience and like cognitive science in college. And then at that point, like I think it was like near my senior year that I was getting so deeply involved with like film editing. Actually, I went to UCLA for film for grad school, but like I was getting so into film editing, I was getting so into music, I was getting into art, and I just realized how infinite that could be, in the same way that AI is going to forever evolve, and I think our brains could do the same thing. And in the process, I got into illustration. I was doing branding and stuff for larger companies, larger corporations, until I decided to break away and be like, I want to do something. Well, I worked in the gallery world for a little bit, as in like I was represented by a gallery, but I hated the snootiness of it.
The art dealer.
The art deal, like the whole, and I'm showing it to what, like 200 people or whatever it is, unless it's a bigger show. And so I was like, you know what? I want to make public art.
Yeah.
I just started painting walls that I could find for free, and it just kind of eventually evolved into companies hiring me, people hiring me, and yeah.
How did you get into that? Like, so you were doing illustration, and you were noticed for the illustration that you're doing and branding that you're doing. Is that how you were able to like get like a network going into the exhibit world?
I think I was just like, so I was doing all the branding stuff. I was doing like early social media commercials for companies like McDonald's, Ford, Lego. And during that time, I just dove, I was like, just like networking like crazy. I'm trying to think of how I met Jai and Jai even. Like I was creating my own personal pieces. I already presented at a bunch of group shows. And then eventually, one of my friends, Mike, who's an incredible artist also, and came from the architecture world, which is like, hey, like these guys might be interested in your stuff. And
Nice.
yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
So.
Do you remember your first mural?
Ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah, it doesn't exist anymore. It was in downtown Arts District.
Okay.
Like 9 years ago,
Really?
8 years ago. My friend who was a weed dealer had like
Shout out to homie.
had like a wall. He's like, yeah, dude, just paint it. And like they're like, his neighbors was like a porn studio, So he's like, no one's gonna give a shit.
Yeah.
We've
so
seen
I
it all.
yeah, so I was like, all right. And I painted my first mural there, and then now it's like it's the back wall of Soho House.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What about that experience made you be like, okay, I really like doing murals? Or was it that particular experience?
I mean, I think it's so murals to me, it's physical. It's very physical. Especially like the 2 murals I just completed.
Yeah.
It was on the side of like a 7-story building. You're just up there, and it is like a marathon.
Yeah.
And you're painting.
Yeah, that's
I love that, just being outdoors. Like, I paint with like my best friends. So Paul's up there, my friend Julian's up there, and we're just like shooting the shit most of the time, or listening to podcasts or music, and then you're just painting.
What's
the
what's your
best.
process like with the whole mural process? Are you you're designing it
Yeah.
first, and then you're like, how does that go?
I mean, it depends. If it's a smaller wall, like if it's like a size like this in a house, I will just freehand it because I can see the whole wall. So it's just like a large canvas. But if you start working, closer to like the 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 square feet, where you're up against the wall and you're on like scaffolding or a lift, you have to use like other methods.
Yeah.
So you're either, you start off with like projection maybe or gridding or there's like a sign pouncing technique where you like stipple on pieces of paper and you chalk out the design.
Like a Shepherd Fairy.
Shepherd Fairy does exactly that. Yeah. Because especially for him.
Yes.
Like, and his style, it works
Stencil
perfectly.
art.
It's stencil art. Yeah. So it just depends on like the size of the wall and how quickly I want to finish it.
How did you do the ones in Little Tokyo?
So it was the Shepherd Fairy technique.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Those,
Which the pre-planing is crazy on that.
we're pre-planning the making of the stencils.
The making of the stencils,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Like giant pieces of vinyl.
Oh,
Yeah,
but we were
what
up
type
there and it was like 109 degrees one day. It was crazy. It was when the heat wave was going on.
Did you finish it in what is it? I want to say summer, end of summer,
Yeah, end of summer.
like August or like
Yeah, like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah. But we finished it. We were like, dude, we had to finish because the lift's getting taken away. The company we're working with, like they fucked up and they didn't move the lift over to the other side. So we lost 4 days.
Wow.
So we were like, oh my God. So
Yeah.
we only had 3 days to finish it.
Oh my god.
And we finished it in 3 days.
That's crazy.
We were like, dude, we're cranking.
Yeah.
Let's
So
go.
you doing it through nighttime and everything? Or?
Everything.
So
Just
how do you
went.
set up the like? What type of lights are you using?
Oh,
to see?
well, so for this one, thankfully they had
okay.
the whatever
Street
attached
lights.
street lights and,
yeah.
and stuff like on the building. And we didn't go into late night.
Gotcha.
We just started super early.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, it's wild.
Even
That's
just thinking
wild.
about
That
it.
Yeah.
Have there been any moments? Because for me in particular, I have a fear of heights.
Oh,
So I can't imagine being 7 stories up doing that. Do you ever have any moments of like fear? Has there been any times where it got a little rocky or a little scary up there?
I mean, when you're on a swing stage, it's basically 2 cables that suspend you down, right? So the lower you are, the less tension there is. So it swings. So when a gust of wind comes, you basically like get swung out. So there's moments like that where you're just like, dude. But what's funny is like, the first day you're always afraid. You have a harness on and all this stuff. And then like after day 2, you're just like, all right, you're jumping off.
Chilling.
Yeah, like it's safe. So
That's funny.
yeah, it does get scary though.
How is it working with your team of people? Are they like always your go-to? Have you known them for a long time? Do they also do art?
Oh yeah, I mean Paul Juno, he's like one of my closest friends.
Oh, nice.
Like he paints all the murals with me.
Dope.
And then Julian used to work for Colossal Media, which you guys might know. If you go to Staples Center or whatever it's called now, like Crypto.com Center, all the painted murals there, like the
3 towers.
yeah. So he paints those.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
So he used to paint those, and then he left to be freelance, and then now works with me.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Do you have to like retouch like if you're doing like something for a company or businesses, did they ever like after years or something need
I always send in maintenance doc, like
okay.
I always try to be super professional with everything.
Nice.
But when they ask,
You're like,
once I'm done, I'm done.
No,
look at that.
I prefer to just be done.
Yeah.
I would do it, but
yeah. Usually that's not something that's like common pretty much.
no.
Gotcha.
Most people, I mean, my stuff's gotten tagged before, and at that point I'm just like whatever.
Yeah.
But most of my stuff doesn't get tagged. I think most murals don't get tagged in general.
Nice.
Usually, well, because I used to do graffiti when I was like younger, and that's kind of like one of those things where it's like, I mean, unless you're like on the what is it, the 101, those are always getting like messed up, and they're too
The
far
Kent
gone.
Yoshimura pieces, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like you kind of respect those people as artists because they are getting paid to like do this wall. Like so, when you go into like Little Tokyo, there's the Yosuke Yamamoto that's just like
Yeah, I love
on the
that piece.
on the floor, and no one touches it because it is good and it's like representative of like the area, and no one's just gonna disrespect it because I gotta say, at the heart of it, young graffiti writers and taggers and bombers and people who run crews with paint rollers and stuff, they themselves just want to be seen and kind of be an artist.
Oh yeah,
So don't disrespect, the kind of scene, especially.
dude, and we don't disrespect him at all either. Like I love like a lot. There's some shit I don't like, but a lot, most of it I do like.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
They're so good. Like, yeah.
How quick they do things, how big the murals they have, or like
Oh
just
my
the
God.
crew ones where they take over a whole building, and like lately, or do you know what is it? Hopes.
Oh yeah, I love Hope.
That guy's crazy.
Chaka,
Oh,
Hope,
yeah.
like all those guys. I think they're legendary.
Dude, they just everywhere you go, every piece of like freeway, they're up.
Yeah.
What is it? OCP, MSK.
I mean,
AWR.
MSK's OG. You know.
Dude, yeah, seventh letter.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's where Renda and them started.
I
Yeah.
met Revoke.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was doing like a gallery show, and like that's when he was first starting to do those kind of like.
Yeah, the
I don't
multi.
yeah, what do you call that? It's like a old like a geometry thing where you put your pencil in and you kind of like do the
compass
thing.
style.
Yeah. But he does it like on such a large scale, and then on buildings.
Well, he had that whole thing with Mercedes Benz.
Oh, did he?
Also, where like Mercedes Benz did this whole shoot using his art as the backdrop,
Yeah.
and they used it for all these public campaigns. He's like,
Wow.
"What the fuck? I don't like you guys."
Yeah.
and sued them and
no,
won.
no, no, yeah.
Nice.
So I don't give you rights to use this. It's
That's
like,
really
well, it's all
funny.
Detroit.
Yeah, it's like
stuff
it's public
that.
art, and it became this whole thing.
Yeah,
That's
but
funny.
yeah, I mean those. I respect the fuck out of all those guys.
Yeah.
that's great stuff.
Because like like even like the the underpasses and stuff. I'm
Oh,
looking at that. And I'm
yeah.
like, would I have the guts to be on like 8 inches of steel at
Oh
night
my
with a bunch of
God.
cans and just do? I'm like,
Dedication.
It's
graffiti is a
dedication.
young man's sport though.
It is for sure. Now they have the fire extinguisher styles.
What is it? KR.
Yeah.
KR1. Crank.
KR1.
Yeah. He was doing all the Louis Vuitton and Gucci and kind of like the high end like stores for a while. He was.
Isn't
he was
that
the man.
crazy?
He was the man.
Dude, that's the thing. Like, Conor McGregor has this quote where it's just like, well, he's crazy now, but why would I ever hate someone that's pursuing the same dreams as I am?
Yeah.
And all of us love art and we're pursuing it.
Yeah.
And I say most people because there's some graph artists that literally are just douchebags and they just do it to start shit with other people.
Yeah.
It happens a lot. But that's like literally 0.1%.
Yeah. Like what is it? Like JA1 or like Scuff. You heard
Oh,
of
I
those
don't know
guys?
them.
JA1, he would just like he's known for like the JA like throw up, and he would just destroy people. He's like, if you would cross him, he would just go over everything you have.
Oh,
and then,
really?
and, because like I've seen like the graffiti beefs, and those are the kind of people you're just really toxic. Everyone's wasting paint.
Graffiti
or
beef.
toxic.
Or the Robo Banksy kind of like.
Oh,
feud.
yeah.
That was really rough, but it's.
But it ended in a really like heart-wrenching kind of poignant
Yeah.
way. Well, because he died.
Yeah, Robo. Yeah, Robo's like, and then you just like, just a little tribute. It's like,
Yeah.
it's frustrating.
How is your experience working with companies? Like, how was that first time getting a corporate gig, I guess? And how have been the subsequent experiences working with them?
I mean, like the first time, so this is so different from kind of the ideology that I think a lot of younger people have now, but I was working for no pay. I was sleeping in my car, in a Bank of America parking lot or at like my friend's couch, and I was just working my fucking ass off. And I was like, this is just experience for me. I'm gonna get it. And until I eventually like had the confidence to, because I knew how to do things, to be able to ask for more and slowly make my way up. And I see a lot of young people who don't have that experience, but they only have this confidence, but they don't know how to do anything.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Is it the Dunning-Kruger effect?
it's Dunning-Kruger, totally. Like it, and so for me, working with these corporations have always been okay.
Yeah.
Because I always use it as experience. I've always been leveling up. And I use it as leveling up. And if there's a smaller company that comes to me or a smaller project that comes to me now, unless it's something I truly believe in, I don't take it anymore.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, but that was kind of my goal. Is like, okay, this is my first company I start with for this, and then I'm gonna get a little bit better, and a little bit better, and a
every
little bit.
time.
But I would never take a step back.
There.
Yeah,
Nice.
but I wouldn't jump from
Yeah,
0 to
yeah.
100.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
You don't fight the world champion if you just started training.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's a different mindset from I think what a lot of people have right now, but I still. It's very Japanese, I guess.
And that might like I was gonna ask you where that mindset comes from, but you said like it stems from like being like Japanese culture, like really like the root of it all.
I respect my elders,
Yeah.
like I respect like time is a value. Time is like a value that only people who have gone through time can like understand.
Yeah.
So
Appreciate.
Yeah.
How so? Now are you just like getting gigs from like word of mouth? Like I know because you're not really doing like advertising or anything like that. Now you're pretty established, so it's just.
Yeah, I have like 2 management teams that manage me.
Nice.
Yeah, like agency management team. Like recently, I just did something for the Wynn hotels, like
nice.
the new show for the Wynn. So
like in Las Vegas, Wynn.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a mural on the 10 freeway, that we just put up like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. But
is it that what is the snow one? Awakening.
Yeah, snow one.
Yeah.
No,
I saw the picture of it. It looks amazing. Great work.
Which one is it?
That's crazy. The Awakening.
Oh, Awakening. The Vegas
so
piece.
Oh wow.
Off the Wynn. Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
What's one of your most memorable pieces that you've ever done?
Oh man, most memorable pieces. So my first big LA City piece that I did, it's like I forgot how big it is, but like 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 around that size. It was in Long Beach. It was on one of like the 3 oldest theaters in like Los Angeles County, and it wasn't really the piece that was memorable. It was like staying in Long Beach that was memorable, because holy shit, dude, we stayed in this Airbnb. It has nothing to do with art. I'm with my crew. We're all hanging. We got this Airbnb. We're drinking, whatever. And we're like, fuck, man, it's so windy outside. And we like step outside. First of all, it's not windy at all, but we see this tree like rustling and going crazy. Yeah. There were literally 100 rats in this fucking tree.
Right
and just
outside.
like, and all of us like, we need to get the fuck out of here. So we moved to another Airbnb, and like our friend Rooster goes on a date. Our friend Luca, like he goes on before he transitioned, like she was like going on a date.
Yeah.
And then so it's me, Paul, and Felix, and we're just chilling, making some pizza. And like this girl like starts shouting from the alleyway, and I guess she had the Airbnb next to us. She's like, "Hey, like, what are you guys doing?" It's like, "I'm from like, are you guys in an Airbnb also?" And we're like, yeah, like just doing our thing. Yeah. It's like, "Oh, like, what are you guys eating something? Like, you want to hang out?" And we're like, "Oh, yeah, no, we're like we didn't know what to say. We're like, sure." And this girl just comes over, like, in her lingerie.
Oh,
what? And I'm like, oh my god. And she like pushes her way in, and then she sits on the bed, and she literally has a gash in her head.
What?
And she's bleeding from her head.
God. Wow. That's
and me,
crazy.
Paul, and Felix are like looking at each other. We're like, dude, like what the fuck?
What is going on?
Oh my goodness.
And Felix like, okay, like our friend Laura's calling, and like we lock the door, and it's like, oh, like wait, we just told her we're leaving though.
Yeah.
Like, and so we like watch a what's that the wrestling TV show with
WWE?
Glow.
Oh yeah, I think that's it,
yeah.
So we watched the entire season of Glow super quietly for the next 6 hours.
That's terrifying.
Like trapped in.
Like, oh my god. But we have a lot of moments like that, like especially with international murals and things like that, where we're just like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like working in Shanghai, we did like a 5-story mural in Shanghai. We were like, oh my, like China's crazy. You know?
Is it? I've never been to China.
Like, dude, there, like we land, and I'm like, oh, all right, and like we start walking to this place. I painted a mural like in the airport, like right next to the airport, and there's a dude in a business suit taking a massive dump in a fucking phone booth.
Wow.
And I'm just like, what the fuck? And then he like pulls his pants up and just keeps going with his like suitcase, suit, and everything.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I was like, and that was like the first thing I saw.
That is a. I'm gonna have Mid-Journey make this into an AI generate. That's so funny. Just like,
it's like, dude, I was like, oh my god, this is China. Like, that's crazy. So
It's pretty jarring.
it's more the moments like that. Like the painting's always chill.
Yeah.
Like,
The surroundings.
Yeah.
Because you're out there for so long too.
Oh, and there's crazy people when you're painting an outdoor mural. Like, there's always a crazy person that will come
Really?
up to you. Always, and they want to talk to you for hours.
Yes. And then
you're
you're
just
like,
trying to-
I can't leave.
Dude.
I'm stuck on this like
Yeah.
scaffolding, and you're like, you have to finish, and then you're just getting like chirped up. And it's
Guy. Or they like I've had
No
people like start
way.
shaking scaffolding.
Oh my gosh.
Or they would try to I've gotten my shit robbed before like multiple times.
Damn.
But they will come and steal it literally from the corner. Like I'd be on the corner working, and they'll come up and take all my paint shit.
Wow.
And it's like, what are you gonna do with that?
With this paint.
Yeah, what are you gonna do
They're
with the
just
paint?
aspiring artists, dude. They're like going to the studio like,
Oh my god! And usually we'll just find it down the street in the alleyway with like
Cause-
all of it dumped out, and they
Yeah.
don't take a single thing.
yeah, they're like not worth any money.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
fucking paint.
it's paint. They think about it. They're like, wait, what am I gonna do with this
Yeah.
paint?
Kick it over.
So
That
dumb.
sucks.
So, but those are the stories I usually have with mural stuff.
Nice.
When you were younger, just starting out with it, did you ever think that it would be taking you internationally?
Oh man. I mean, yes and no. I feel like if I kept going at anything, I get pretty good at it, like anyone else. Like, dude, like things just take time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the first 3 years, I wasn't making any money painting murals, and then now, it's like my career.
So when you weren't making money from it, were you just like posting on social media and stuff, or I know it's the word
Yeah.
of mouth part, but did sharing it on social media help? Or
Yeah, sharing it on social media, like telling people I'm a muralist, definitely
owning
helps.
it,
Owning
right?
it. But yeah, I mean, during that time, like I worked in a music studio, so I was doing music for like film and television, painting murals like on the side, and then yeah, I was like, I'm gonna make the leap, and I started my company Nuero, but during that time too, but I took the leap, and they have these things called basically it's like clinical trials in Anaheim. So I would just like stay in hospitals and make money for just getting injected with random shit.
Oh, wow.
But
The things you do.
oh, dude, but you don't pay for rent because you're
Yeah.
staying in the hospital.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, you get
Nice.
paid. It's like you could get paid like I was getting paid like $30,000 a year,
Wow.
just staying in hospitals and like getting stuff. And then now you're just working. So I'm
Yeah.
just
You
I have
working
nothing
while you
to
sleep.
well, I have nothing else to do in a hospital, so I'm just like drawing,
Being extremely
yeah,
productive.
super productive.
Yeah.
And I would say like those 2 years like doing that was probably monumental in my life.
Wow.
You did 2 years of like living in a hospital and like just
In and out.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
yeah. Not like consistently.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was-
It will be like 2 week stints, and then they'll
Yeah.
do 10-week follow-ups. 2 week
Okay.
stints, 10-week follow-ups. Yeah.
Well, is it challenging not being pulled away by distractions? It seems like you're like a very focused person. Like you use your time very well.
Yeah, I mean, I sent you my calendar. You
Oh, yeah.
Like that's literally like I could show you my calendar, and that's
Oh.
on the daily.
It was it was
Just-
pretty wild. He's like, hey dude, like this is what I wake up
Oh
to.
my
Yeah.
gosh.
It's like blocked out.
literally.
You know, I
Oh,
love that
yeah.
it's super.
Packed in.
So organized.
Yeah,
Whether
It's
it's art,
beautiful.
yeah, whether it's art or it depends on like my art or my main company.
So how do you ever get
personal
overwhelmed?
stuff.
And then how do you keep up with the schedule like that?
I don't know. It's not that bad. Like I don't know. I think you just get used to it.
You think you're just like trained because you've like had this type of work ethic most of your life?
I don't know, because I wouldn't even call. It's just like organization. It's not even work ethic. It's just organization. You know.
And
like-
energy, I feel like you gotta
no.
have the.
Yeah, you need the energy for sure.
Yeah.
But like staying fit helps.
Yeah.
You know, like I consistently work out.
What
I don't drink too. I love drinking, but I don't get like
it's like.
fucked up ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like if I do, I'm like I know kind of thing.
Yeah. You getting your 8 hours of sleep?
I sleep like 6 hours a night.
What?
Yeah. Like,
He's super efficient.
Damn.
but it's not like I wake up in the morning. Like I
yeah.
wake up in the morning,
Yeah,
and my
yeah.
girlfriend and I make coffee.
Yeah.
You know,
Take
we're
time a little
chilling.
bit.
We like do some yoga. Like
Definitely.
Nice.
yeah, it's not like I don't know. It's just organized.
Yeah. I know before we kind of like started on the pod, you're telling me a little bit about like your past and kind of like before the art that you were kind of like training, you're kind of like set in this athletic mode.
Yeah.
And do you think that kind of like that rigorous amount of kind of scheduling and kind of like also physical activity is kind of what gives you like almost an
Oh,
advantage?
100%. I mean, 100%. Martial arts. I mean, I've been doing my whole life, so I don't know how it changed my life, but it was the most important thing in my life.
Yeah.
For sure. And I think in many ways there was like going, training every single day, knowing after school, I played soccer and volleyball, but after that, I would go train until like 8
Really?
p.m. and I come home and eat dinner. And that was like my entire life. I would wake up in the morning, I go run, go to school. There's like middle school, high school, whatever. And then like sports, then train, then school, then schoolwork, and so on and so forth. So, I mean, that was my entire life for as long as I remember, to be honest, you know, for a really long time. I mean, I still like fucked around all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
did your thing,
Like, on
yeah.
weekends and whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I would hang out with my high school friends and everything, and like college friends. But yeah, that was a big chunk of my life.
Yeah, but to think that like you do kind of team sports and then you go off to training and you train for how many hours a day would you train? I mean, not including the run in the morning, because you said 8. Then when do you get off of like
4 hours,
4 hours a day,
5 hours, 4 hours a day.
And
Yeah.
then
During the summers, I would train 8 hours a day.
Got it.
Yeah.
And then for our audience and listeners, what were you training exactly?
So I started off in karate, and then I got really into Muay Thai, which is the national sport of Thailand, which is boxing with your boxing. It's kickboxing, but with your elbows and knees, and clinching. And then I did judo and jiu-jitsu. So those were kind of the main sports that I trained in. And I would spend my summers in Japan training with the Japanese Olympic team and the Japanese Imperial Guards.
Imperial Guards.
And judo. Yeah. So I would train at the Imperial Palace and stay in dorm rooms and train with the top college team there.
Wow.
And then in Muay Thai, I would train at Sit Yo Tong in Phuket. Not Phuket, Pattaya. And fight in the stadiums out there.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
How was that experience fighting in stadiums? Yeah.
So I have pretty funny stories from that too. So Thailand is. Do you know what lady boys are?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Of course.
of
course.
you never. So lady boys give the best massages, but only because they have great they're strong.
Yeah.
But also when you start fighting in the stadiums and you're a foreigner, you start getting it's not really a fan base because they're not really fans of you, but you get people that always
Excited to
and
see
you
it.
always hear the girls cheering, and then you hear out of the girls a very a less girly voice,
that's funny.
yeah, and you always know, oh man, but no, Thailand's a blast. It's one of my favorite places in the world.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Where haven't you been? I feel like you're pretty traveled. Where would you like to go? What's on your list?
Man, I mean, I would love to go to Antarctica. Oh my gosh.
Nice.
There's only 2 windows. The option. Mr. Beast was supposed to go shoot something down there, but it's very small.
Oh, I
it's
bet.
in the beginning of March, and then I think towards the end of August. You got to go from Patagonia
Yep.
on a tiny little boat, and then hang out with the scientists, and you have a very, very small amount of time.
That's so sick.
And then
we should all go.
We should
Oh my
go.
gosh,
You let me know.
document it.
I'm down.
Be so
I'm down.
dope.
I want to see
You know,
the
that
Aurora Borealis.
Yeah, I was just in Alaska actually. I painted a mural in
Really?
Alaska in
Wow.
Shishmaref. It's
What?
one of the most remote. It's so
How'd you get there?
a tiny little plane, literally a plane to another plane. And we stopped by in Nome, which is where we took this 10-seater plane. But Shishmaref, Alaska, we just shot a documentary there 2 years ago, which it's in the film festival circuit now, but it is the one island in Northern America that is impacted the most by climate change, and it is over 10 feet a year all the way around the island that is slowly disintegrating.
Ew, that's scary.
Because of the sea
10
waves.
feet?
Yeah,
Sheesh.
it's insane.
Yeah.
So I painted the only mural there, and the people are gonna have to be relocated realistically in the next 20 years.
Wow.
But you see them, and it's I saw 2 dead whales there.
Wow.
It was pretty gnarly.
Oh,
Yeah,
looking good.
So sad.
yeah. You being there, I was holy shit, you feel it.
Who kind of I guess commissioned you to do that kind of mural?
That little town.
Oh,
They found my work and they commissioned
Wow.
me. Yeah, it was
Amazing.
amazing. Yeah. It was the most amazing project I've worked on.
How
But
was-
Aurora Borealis
Yeah.
is very prominent there.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm trying to get up there.
How was the weather? Was it like pretty cold? Like the coldest, you know?
Do you know what Alaskan summers are like?
No.
It literally doesn't get dark.
Oh yeah, it's so far north.
Because so far north. So it was only dark for like 3 hours a day.
Wow.
It was so wild. And you see these kids like running and screaming. It's 3 a.m.
Oh really?
It's like, what the hell? And they just sleep during the day because they're like teenagers.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, the time doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's sunny all the time.
That's pretty trippy.
Wild. It was so trippy. I had some walrus. I had some caribou and moose.
What's the walrus
Oh.
tasting like?
It's like fishy, like oily beef jerky. It was disgusting.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend.
Not a big fan.
Yeah.
It's like this much fat.
Ooh.
Or like we didn't get the steak. We just got like little chunks of it, but
Yeah.
it's this much fat and then like this much meat.
And
Ooh.
It's really crazy.
yeah, that insulation.
Yeah. Well, like I didn't eat that. Like they didn't have it, but yeah. It's wild.
Which are you do you consider yourself a foodie?
Oh yeah.
What what were the other kind of meats like that you tried as well? I mean that like
Yeah, what's
So there's limited
I'm
running
curious.
water. So there's limited running water.
Yeah.
So there's actually only so much you can make, and like you don't want to clean dishes,
No.
right? Because you're limited on water.
Yeah.
So a lot of the dishes we made had to be just like quick seared things.
Oh.
So you know, like on one of the days we were trying to actually go hunting also, but they went beforehand. They caught some caribou, this massive thing,
Yeah.
and we helped them like
Chop it.
basically chop this fucking
wow.
it was this
Wow.
leg up. It was
Oh
a wild experience, and
There's blood all over you.
blood all over us. Like our hands are covered in blood. We ate the heart of the caribou, which is like this. It's like this
Really?
big.
Yeah.
It was insane.
How did that
I wouldn't
taste?
say it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather go to like I don't know, Chipotle or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
I mean, a
like-
burger would have been cool,
yeah,
but
yeah,
just like
exactly.
Can I get
Chopped
guacamole
up
with this
the-
caribou heart?
It's not dead yet. you know?
yeah, it's like,
So
man.
you're not afraid to try different like.
Oh
textures.
yeah,
You're not-
whatever.
oh my
I've eaten
gosh.
bugs in Thailand. You
Yeah.
know, I've eaten. Yeah,
What's-
I've been like.
what's been something interesting, I
Yeah.
guess, or something that you're like, dang, I can't believe I ate that. Was there anything where you were like, oh, this is a bold
Damn,
move?
we had like a deep fried water beetle,
What?
like one like this big in Thailand once.
Does it taste
like
like
right
lobster?
after my fight. Well, it just tastes like deep fried shrimp.
Oh,
But it
yeah,
was
the
like
carapace.
I think I was so
Hungry?
like hopped up on adrenaline
Yeah.
that I like literally threw it up immediately.
Oh,
It
no.
was I don't know, my body was like yeah.
It's like you're putting a bug in me after all of that.
Yeah, like yo, you for
Bro,
real? Yeah.
really? I just won the fight.
Yeah, protein, dude. Yeah. I don't know. Are you guys foodies?
Yeah.
This guy for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I throw down.
What's your top 3 spots in LA?
Top 3 spots in LA. Oh, dude. Well, what type of food are we talking? We're talking like
First
okay.
3 that come to mind.
Yeah, first
Yeah,
thing that come to mind.
one. I would say Cato. 2, I would say. What is it? Via's Tacos.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that's good.
Shout out our
You need
guy.
to- you need to
And,
have a
what
street
is
taco
it?
spot.
3, I'd say. Does it have to be like LA, or can I go like down to like Gardena?
It's your
That's
world.
that's LA, dude.
Okay, I go to Otofuku. Otofuku is pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's that?
Have you been to Spoon House before? down
Yes,
there?
spoon,
It's like one of my favorite
dude.
places.
That
I had it for lunch.
machine, and then the bread, dollar salad.
Good. Dollar salad.
You're a man who speaks my
James
language.
Beard Award.
Did it
It's wild.
recently?
No. Like from like 20 years ago.
Oh God.
Yeah. Like when he was
But
still
hey,
alive.
Yeah, you know.
But hey,
Dude,
got it.
like that, and like the what is it? The uni cream like seafood.
good.
You know,
It's
the
cheap.
bolognese.
It's like
it
$12.
It's like they
Nice.
never raise the prices ever.
Awesome.
$1 salad,
Yeah.
dude.
Good. We also go to like Kotohira.
Oh, I don't know.
It's in the Tozai Plaza, and then like they hand make the like udon and stuff like that, and then we
Ooh,
go to like it's not food but like chikara and sakuraya, and if I'm put you on game I'll put you on game on like some Japanese curry, but I'm not gonna
please,
blow up my
please.
spot on the
Yeah,
pod,
yeah.
you know, because the next thing you know, it's a line out the door.
Yeah.
That's what bro would say. But yeah, what about you, man? Like, you know,
Oh man.
You- I mean,
well,
like-
no, you guys go first. You guys
Oh,
go
yeah.
first. I want to hear like the full.
he's like taking notes.
yeah.
Damn, that's
I love Versailles Cuban food.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a
That's
good
my
one.
go-to.
Which
You know?
one though? There's 2 locations, right?
The one off Venice. The
Okay,
one over here.
fair enough.
That's mine. That's my go-to.
Not the Pico Robertson one.
No, I never go to that one.
Busy Bees has been on a rotation for about, I don't know, 25
What's that?
years. It's like a sandwich shop in San Pedro.
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
my parents live in San Pedro.
Yeah.
Oh,
Then
they probably
Busy
know
Busy
this.
Bees,
Bro.
Busy Bees
Hey,
Market.
we'll take you there.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
So amazing, like meatball subs. It's just like
Best in
soaking
the
in the
world.
sauce like all
Ooh,
day.
I love.
It's like
that stuff.
family owned, so it's just like been killing it. There's almost always like a line, and it's just been around for so long. It's
Okay.
one of my favorites.
Beautiful,
Okay, fair enough.
beautiful spot. I did have a question.
Food places.
In your journey, I guess. And we got to talk about your business too.
Yeah.
But in your journey of, getting to where you're at now, what has been maybe a surprising challenge that either people wouldn't expect or you didn't expect when you were getting into it? Like, is it dealing with, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, dealing with people is hard,
Yeah.
for sure. And I totally understand why people get cynical in business. That's for sure. Relationships are hard, like, for sure. That was kind of a constant struggle just from a work perspective and balancing things out. But hard, I don't know. I think like maintaining like I don't think I'm like an optimistic person just naturally, but I think I'm forced to be optimistic, especially as you grow a team. And to me, like, business has been the most healthy thing for my mental health in that way.
Yeah.
'Cause I know, we have like 21 people that work like in the company, or Paul and Julian that work with me, or my managers, and like all these people that depend on me for certain things, or I depend on them. And like that mutual connection has to be strong,
Yeah.
or else a company doesn't run well.
Yeah.
A project like as big as a mural doesn't get finished
Yeah.
if people are pissed off at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
Big facts.
I think those are like learning that I think was really important for me.
Yeah.
And diving into that. Yeah.
That's-
But also, making sure it comes naturally. That's also. So.
Tell us about your business.
Yeah. So, I'm also thinking of food place in the back of my head.
Yeah.
We're gonna come back to it.
We'll come back to it.
After the pod, we don't need to make the lines longer.
Can I sang another beer actually?
Yeah, no, I got you.
All right, thank you.
And
No, I
then,
got you.
oh, you got it? All right, cool.
So during college, when I was training, supplements were heavily unregulated. And during that time, I was mixing them in my own room because I wanted supplements without filler.
Yeah.
And that was essentially V0 of like these like nootropic mixes that were meant to boost productivity, meant to, thank you so much, meant to boost productivity, meant to like enhance health in different ways. That I was mixing in my room was like V0 of Nuero,
Yeah.
which is my gum and mint company that I started with my co-founder Ryan Chen
So,
about 7 years ago now. And we're in 15,000 like points of sale nationwide, including 3,800 Walmarts, 5,000 CVS stores, Whole Foods nationwide, Myers up in the Midwest, Festival Foods, Bristol Farm, like so on and so forth. And we basically had this idea during a scuba diving trip. And my co-founder is a paraplegic. He broke his back in a snowboarding accident. So he was taking these supplements to kind of, get back in the groove of things.
yeah, I feel you.
And during a scuba diving trip, which was a big dream of his, like he wanted to always be scuba certified, and he felt like it wasn't achievable because now he can't use his legs. We did it, and we were exhausted, and we were looking around, and it's like, one, like we don't want to drink coffee on this rocking boat.
Yeah.
We don't want to drink energy drinks because it's filled with sugar and all this garbage.
Yeah.
And we don't want to be taking bathroom breaks and pissing in our wetsuit the entire time. And it became obvious, like, why don't they put these things into gum and mints, this thing that hasn't been innovated on forever, except for freshening your breath and whitening your, like, quote unquote, whitening your teeth.
Yeah.
Like, if it's a thing that's going to freshen your breath and whiten your teeth and all this stuff anyways,
Why
which
not?
it naturally does, why don't we put, like, natural caffeine and L-theanine and B6 and B12 vitamins in it? Why don't we put multivitamins in it like at low doses so that you're just getting your vitamins throughout the day. Why don't we put vitamin D in it, which is like something that's deficient in. So, and we started developing this product, and in that process, you know, like we've made like Forbes 30 under 30. Excellent. We were on Shark Tank. Dr. Roz like blew us up when we first launched on Indiegogo.
Awesome.
And recently we just closed a pretty big round with a Fortune 100 company, and raised about $8.5 million, which is the reason I was traveling for like a big chunk of this year.
Wow.
So we're gonna grow our team and try to keep taking it a little bit further.
Nice.
So yeah.
Did you have your management team when you guys started this business? Like, did you already have a team helping you, or was it you two just like...
Me and Ryan, I was literally the customer service line on my phone, taking customer service, because I didn't know shit about business. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
I'm learning how to code a website, you know, like from scratch. I'm making it on WordPress, our first website. I'm going to the post office every single morning, dropping off orders. And it blew up so fast that I'm getting like phone calls all day. Like I'm shipping products every single day. And it was like out of necessity that I was like, okay, I need to like learn how to manage people. Yeah. And slowly starting to like work, like this is how finances work. This is how this works. This is how this works. And Ryan, the same thing, right?
Wow.
He runs more of the finances and partnerships in our business. And I run more like executive management and things like I work with the team more, and the e-commerce side of things, but it just slowly became like, okay, we need to start piecing things together, hiring the right people, getting advisors, and out of necessity building this thing out and being like, okay, we need to get my phone number scrubbed from the
from the website.
Like holy shit. So
it's like 3 a.m. they're calling you like
it was wild. It was wild. That was a crazy period in my life.
How many years ago was that?
Yeah, like 7.5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is when you're like,
just
like, what phase were you in?
Literally
painting.
This when I was staying in the hospitals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So staying in the hospitals, doing my neuro stuff. Our COO now was my roommate, and you know, he was going back and forth, like shipping packages out.
Wow.
Whenever I was out, I would be pulling all-nighters to finish mural projects and mural design work, and both things just kind of started picking up at the same time.
That's amazing.
It was stressful.
Tough, yeah.
Yeah, wow. Sacrificed a lot of things, a lot of relationships, a lot of my friendships. Not sacrificed, but just like, you just don't have time to hang out with people as much as you used to. And
trim the fat.
Yeah, trim the fat, but I mean, I'm still friends with all of them. Yeah. But it was just like, wow, what was I, like 26, 27 at that time? And it was like, okay, I can't be going out and drinking. I can't be doing this.
I had to give it all, basically. Give
it
most of the attention.
Exactly. So, but now, now we're here.
Yeah.
So awesome.
What was your experience developing the product, or what? So I saw your guys' experience had led you to like, why doesn't this exist? But how is actually creating and developing the product itself?
Yeah, so you could only go so far when you're mixing things in your own room.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, just a kid at home.
So yeah. So we actually like found it. It was crazy. Like, so Government Mints is run by a monopoly in the United States, known as Mars Wrigley, which is a private corporation also. So no one knows their numbers. But we very fortunately found a manufacturer and a chemist, and one of our early investors was our supplier that supplied us with all these ingredients. Perfect. And they're one of the largest like private nutraceutical companies in the United States.
Excellent.
And so kind of building these relationships and finding where we needed to find professionalism or stopgaps to at least get to the next stage was it was like piece by piece, really. Yeah. And then now with this investment in from this larger company, they have like 700 lawyers on staff. Wow. They have like 2,000 scientists on staff. Wow. It's insane. Yeah. They're massive.
Yeah.
They like make 30, 40, 50 billion dollars a year in revenue. But we're able to use those resources now and be like, okay, now let's take the company
next
and
level.
Step it up a little bit. Yeah.
Amazing.
Switch. Everything is baby steps. And also not having to know everything, right? It's dependency on great people that know what they're doing, knowing just a little bit of it, and then being able to keep going.
Jeez. What have been, so would you say like team building has been like one of the biggest, like, I guess, skills or traits you had like have picked up in this journey, or what would you say has been something that you've like really developed along this journey?
I think finding the balance between independence and interdependency is super important. Not dependency, but interdependency is super important. And like allowing people to trust you, but you also being able to trust them, because you guys are all gunning for the exact same goal, which is, you know, whatever, like going public or an acquisition. And at that point, there's a huge cash payout at that, right? Or like salary bumps and bonuses for the rest of the team, or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
So,
on the business end, what was the most like difficult thing to kind of, I guess, wrap your head around? Or,
I mean, I think that concept was really hard. Yeah. I think going back to this idea of these fake business gurus online, they're like, you know, because you buy, Ty Lopez, like, because you're drinking and spending $3 on coffee every day, that's why you're poor. Yeah. Like, you know, like this weird mentality is like,
you see my books?
Yeah, I see my books. It's because of me. And it's like this weird, like, ego, like, you could do it because I could do it, and I'm a genius. And it's like, dude, you will never get to a point past several $1 million unless you become an influencer in your business. Like, if you want to become a 10, 20, 30, 50, like $100 million business, you get there by depending on people. Yeah. Building a team. Like them trusting you, building structure, having organization, having calendars. I have an assistant that manages my calendar, you know, and everyone else's calendar. It's like our secretary that manages everything. Like, you need to build those organizational systems or else, and communicate. Like, communication is key. Or else, like, you know, if you serve, there's this quote like that I really like, which is go far alone, go farther together. Yep. And I truly believe that. And I mean, I wish all these people luck, but when shit hits the fan, all these people that are depending on just themselves and the knowledge that they have to make millions of dollars, like, good luck. Yeah. Because that ain't happening. Yeah. You need like people.
What is it? The lone wolf dies as the pack survives.
Exactly.
You know, like
it's very true.
Yeah, because it's like so much structure. Like, you got people watching your back, right? Yeah. And trying to, like, you know, make sure that you succeed. And that, like, you know, and then they rely on you to, like, you know, kind of like bring things to the table as well. So it's like
there's people working right now in my company. There's probably people working right now.
Got it.
Like, you know.
Yeah. Is your company only in the United States, or is it like also like is it
U.S., Canada, New York, Chicago, Philippines, Ukraine? Yeah, different time zones.
Wow. Yeah.
So we have distributors in Macedonia, New Zealand, Australia, Europe. You know, South Korea also. So excellent. It's a integrated team, global team.
How do you so in situations where you didn't have the knowledge or something, you trusted that the people that you're surrounding yourself with, like, you could, like, you ever walk into a situation or have an opportunity and it seemed really big and you didn't really, you know, like, how you seem like very confident, like how you move and everything.
Oh, thanks. I mean, I guess so, yeah.
So, like, did you ever get overwhelmed, like, with these opportunities? And
I'm like a nervous train wreck every day of my life. I just hide it. Yeah. No, like, I don't know. There's moments like, you know, we've gotten sued before, like, it's where it's just like, oh my God, this lawsuit's gonna kill us in our business. But then you just take it, like, day at a time. You figure it out.
Yeah.
And there's moments where it's like, oh my God, this, like, business is funny because all these crazy things you run into, you realize it's just kind of like a common occurrence after a certain point, after you get a certain size, and then just learn how to deal with it. So you're like not stressed about it.
Build the systems.
Yeah, it's like, oh fuck, this thing is happening again. Okay, let's like just do it.
Is it more so like when like it's the first time it happens? It's like because I know I've got a buddy. It's like, oh, he's in a lawsuit. It's like the first time it's like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what to do. It's kind of like you're entering a new space. You're completely like green, and then but once a couple iterations occur, you're kind of like, oh well, just pass it off.
Oh
and
yeah,
give
it's
people-
well, yeah. It's like, oh, we have our lawyers. We know how to handle it. We know how to minimize fees. We know how to do this. And there's still guesswork and everything, and patchwork and everything. But especially at our stage of the company, which is still like small. But yeah, I don't know. It's like, you know, you live day to day. When you first like touch a stove, it's really hot, and so you learn to never touch a hot stove again.
Yeah,
You know, like
It's
it's
constant
Pain is the
learning.
greatest teacher.
Yeah.
Dogs
It's
and
the
hot
same thing.
stoves.
Yeah.
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 What's something you're excited about in regards to, I guess, either your art or the company?
Oh man, I mean, I'm super excited for this round of capital that we just raised. I really think we could be in the same way Red Bull changed how caffeine is consumed, and then 5 Hour Energy changed it even more to make it more accessible to people. Like for us, we took all the garbage out of those things, so it's cleaner and better for you, and we turned it into something that fits in your pocket, and you get 9 or 12 pieces depending on the gum or the mint.
Nice.
And so it's like even more accessible,
Yeah.
you know, like I think we could change the way human behavior can be and the way they look at health and supplementation. I'm very excited about that.
That's awesome.
And with art, like I'm working on these bigger and bigger projects. I have this like new project that, you know, I pulled an all-nighter last night actually.
No way.
Or I slept like 2 hours last night.
Jeez.
But to finish this project for that I'm super excited for also, you know, because I get to work with some of my friends that are like Olympians, like the Shibutani twins, if you know them, the ice skaters, or Apollo Ono, who's like a speed skater, like dragging them in, like being able to bring them into kind of my ecosystem of art. It's really exciting. And I think it's just constantly being able to expand, like, oh wow, there's this opportunity. How do I bring this person in? How do I bring this person in? And
That's
like,
amazing.
continue growing.
Yeah, really taking
Yeah.
your like community with you. How are you integrating them? I don't know if you're free to.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of really strong community components with them, especially because their impact that they could have, you know, reaching that high level. But I also think even like, I don't know, working with Paul or something, you know, like my friend who independently has not been able to like make a name for his art, for himself as an artist yet, but he's like an assistant / like lead project like person on massive projects, you know, like, which is crazy. So I'm excited for him to be working with my management team so he can make a name for himself.
That's awesome.
You know, and I think those are going to be exciting. We're working on a few documentaries. We're doing like a little, you know, like Above Water, the Alaska documentary that we made about climate change and the art, like surviving in this climate.
Yeah.
Has been winning a bunch of film awards. So
Yeah.
you know, like I'm excited to see where that goes. I'm excited to see where this new Ellison Onizuka documentary that we just shot is going to go based on the murals.
Oh no way! You shot a documentary on that. guy.
Yeah, I'll send it to you guys later.
Yeah. Are you allowed to like talk a little bit more about these documentary or film projects? Or is it...
Yeah, I mean, I could, but I think it's just like being able to tell stories now.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be like I'm really fascinated in that, and
What's-
maybe use AI to help me.
Yeah, because Onizuka is like a huge pivotal person in like the kind of like in Little Tokyo and like the JA community and stuff.
He's
like
the
that.
first Asian American to go to space.
Wow.
It's insane. This guy grew up on this small island in Hawaii, the Big Island, in Hilo, on a coffee field. Literally, and I talk about this in the documentary. He has never seen a person that looks like him go to space before,
Yeah.
and he was just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go to space.
Yeah. I'm getting up
Yeah,
there.
you know, I'm getting up there.
So
cool.
honestly, like when I first saw your mural, I was like, wow, that's powerful to me because that guy was my grandma's friend, and he like wrote
What?
her. She has a letter with his signature and stuff saying like, hey Chris, like look at this, like I'm gonna be going to space on this day and such and such.
Wow.
So like
Legend.
I know like the kind of like the base story of it, but then when I saw like your mural of like a kid with a cape looking with like a telescope downwards, and then you also have like the kind of like astrological kind of like concept above it with him, like, you know, kind of, I think he's in like a blue kind of
Yeah, like
tone.
looking at the
Like,
earth.
looking at the earth. It's like so powerful. And then on the other side is like, I assume the Challenger kind of like going upwards, and like the moon is like golden, and like I'm not sure if that's the moon or the sun, but I was just,
Yeah, it's like the Tintin rocket, you know, which is
that's really that's
it's
like
based off a Ray Bradbury short story, R is for Rocket.
Oh no way.
You know, like about a boy who he's in Ohio on the fields, and he looks up and sees the rockets every day, and he's dreaming of going to space. Yeah. And that's what the story is about.
I see.
And that's the same story as Ellison Onizuka.
Really?
Or like a
Yeah.
guy in the coffee
That's
fields,
what you're
right?
talking about.
That's just like
Dreaming.
dreaming.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
gonna
like,
do this.
When I kind of saw that, I was like, I don't know Kent. I have no idea, but I was like, this piece of art was so powerful to me.
Oh, thank you.
And like who
That's awesome.
I am, and like in my endeavors of like kind of, so like I'm doing a lot of stuff for like Little Tokyo in the community. I was like, this like speaks volumes. And I was like, I hope like me reaching out to him and kind of like, you know, he'll be receptive of it, and he's here now.
Yeah.
Super awesome. I
know,
really
but, like,
appreciate that.
Just
yeah.
like kind of those bridges. But
That's so
please
cool.
tell us more about Onizuka and like kind of like, you know.
I mean, it's just that, like, you know.
What's your involvement with the docs? Like, are you?
So my friend Ken Honjo, who you might know,
Maybe.
like he does a lot of Little Tokyo stuff. Oh, do you know Kuni Yoshida? He's a calligrapher. Like they did a documentary.
no. Yeah.
Kuni's awesome too.
I think one time I was like, hey, what you call? I was like, can you write Gomi Neko for me? He's like, what? And then my brother, he's like, can you put unko? And we have it up in our bathroom. And then he's like, huh? He's like, you know, because he's like a credit calligrapher. And he's like
an amazing calligrapher.
Yeah.
Like masterful.
we even paid for the extra gold, like, you know,
That's
the
so
paper,
funny.
but it hangs in our bathroom. So people are like, oh my god, this is such a great piece of art.
And they
Like,
have no idea.
it's hilarious. But I had some friends who my friend Yoko, she came over and she just goes about and she just comes out like, she's like, Kevin, did you get that?
Wait, is your friend Yoko a director?
No,
a TV?
Yoko's like a fashion
Oh,
kind
never
of
mind.
person. Yeah.
I have a friend named Yoko.
Oh,
who's
really?
like yeah.
Okay, she's a director.
A director.
No, most definitely. But so tell us more about the docs and stuff. Like
Oh
how you
yeah,
got
I mean,
integrated.
it's just basically that. It's the starting point is my art. So I always bring Ken with me to document my murals. But what we're trying to do eventually, like this is going to be after I probably sell Nuero, but eventually, there's art in everything, you know, and there's creativity. There's human innovation and human creativity in everything. Whether it's like going into East LA and seeing these people who have not learned anything about engineering but know how to be an amazing car mechanic and pimp out their ride.
Yeah.
And like, I want to fucking learn the culture of that.
Yeah.
You know, I want to learn like the culture of how like art impacts like whatever it is, like the people of Shishmaref, Alaska, or at least use art to learn about Shishmaref, Alaska. And so we've been starting to like slowly compile these little like short form documentaries, you know,
Nice.
20, 25 minutes together, and been pitching them out to people.
Hey.
One being like, you know, confidential, not confidentially, but like my friend Will was a producer for Roadrunner, Anthony
Oh,
Bourdain's
no way.
Yeah.
documentary. You know, so he'll give us feedback. And like, you know, my friend Chip, who's my neighbor, was a producer for a lot of reality TV shows. So he's like, yeah, like you need to make it more exciting.
Yeah.
So getting this feedback, trying to hone our skill, trying to shoot like as many documentary and pieces of content as possible, and then eventually like going and, you know, I've worked with Lisa Ling before, and then worked with like Helen Cho, who used to be the producer for Anthony Bourdain, and it's like, okay, like let's see what we could do with storytelling. Maybe like not as me as like it doesn't even matter if I'm the host or not, but looking and doing like, how can creativity push things forward? Yeah, what is the art in all of us that, you know, reveals the things about our culture?
That's beautiful.
So, yeah.
What's that thing that fires you up and keeps you going? Because it seems like you're drawn to these ventures and you devote yourself to them well enough to get good or great at them. What is that driver? What, I guess, gives you that little fire
Dude.
spice in your life?
I mean, every day is every day is exciting. I don't know how else to say it. Like I wake up in the morning, you know, and like most days are like kind of more or less the same. But then we'll be looking at e-commerce numbers and we make like these small changes, and you see that the impact of these small changes are like resulting in this.
Yeah.
Or we've been working on like a deal with JetBlue, for example, and now we're in like all JetBlue flights. You know,
Yeah.
our product is on all
Boom.
JetBlue flights. Like these things, like we're in all the Wynn hotels. You
Yeah.
know, like there's these little things where it's just like, if we constantly pursue wins in anything we do, then I know that win is going to come in some capacity. It might not be the expectation that I have of it, but in some capacity. And every single day, I feel like I'm just waiting for that news, or at least working towards that news.
Yeah.
And like that's what excites me.
That's pretty awesome.
So
Did you ever like? Is this just all this knowledge from your experiences, like, or do you like read, you meditate or do self-help books, or I feel like you got some
I'm dumb
gems.
as if you let me talk for another 3 hours, you'll realize I'm dumb as fuck.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going, guys.
But
He said cap it off at 120.
Like you know some shit, man. Like,
but I feel like it's just through experience, you know.
Yeah.
Like I've been hit in the head so many times,
Really?
like I don't even know.
Maybe it goes back to what you're saying about like how time is like the best teacher. Like
Oh,
your experience and like kind of like taking certain kind of nuances of your life and kind of like really adapting, because it seems like you're kind of just like thrown into certain things, but you're very good at adapting and evolving and to kind of confront that challenge, because, you know, I mean, like naturally you're a fighter.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not gonna back down.
I've been kicked in the face before.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This isn't so
This
bad.
is nothing.
What a pitch deck? I'm gonna pitch it. You know,
Yeah,
it's like so like, because you know it's like fight or flight mentality, but like to confront it head on, be like, I'm smart enough to do this. I have enough like confidence in my ability. Is that where?
Yeah, you know, like so again, I keep going back to this weird the things after being in business and art and everything for like almost a decade now, realistically, with everything. Like there's no one-stop shop. You could read all the books in the world and they'll say the same shit. You could be meditating and whatever. And I do actually breathing and breath work every single day.
Nice.
And I take cold showers every day. And I have these like routines that I do every single day. But like I work out every day, I take cold showers, and I love cold showers. And I do Wim Hof breathing or holotropic breathing every single day.
nice.
So like there are things I do to deal with stress or deal with like, but I feel like it's just more routine and finding that routine and being able to be like, okay, with this routine, now my day starts or my day ends, whatever it is.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I think that's gonna help you find a rhythm. Yeah. So
Habits, making good habits.
making good habits, consistency.
Yeah.
Consistency is king. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys doing this podcast for as long as you guys are doing, like that's
We have to get
Impressive.
better, right?
Eventually.
I think it's just getting it out there though, you know?
Yeah.
Like so if it's just a matter of getting it out there, then what's missing? Is
Yeah.
it marketing then?
Yeah.
Then find a marketing person.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
whatever it is. Yeah.
One of my questions my partner wanted to ask
Oh, yeah.
was, what tips would you give another artist who is interested in mural painting? Or I guess art
Yeah.
in general, yeah.
In mural painting or in art, I mean, I do think social media. So, I'll say two things.
Okay.
I see art on social media, and it becomes like the dopamine hit you get of someone liking like generic content on social media is never gonna let you like grow as a independently
Gotcha.
and with independent thought. And to me personally, like my own opinion, art is based around what you can produce from your own experiences, from your own creativity, and what you can regurgitate through those experiences.
Yeah.
So it becomes distinctly you. But when you look at Instagram art, it's like a bunch of crayons getting melted and it turns into craft. And I think that's what's going to happen with AI too,
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's just going to kind of become the same shit. So stay true to yourself.
Yeah.
Sounds like a trope, but it's true.
Yeah.
And then two, like find if you really want to paint murals, just go paint murals.
Yeah.
Like find opportunities to do it. I literally painted like 8 murals before I even made $1. I was like spending all my money getting paint and everything. I was just painting and figuring it out.
Finding spaces, or like even approaching a business if they have a wall or something and asking like,
Oh,
if you do
yeah.
it for free.
Or like paint your own room
Yeah.
and then build a portfolio around it.
Okay.
Go be an apprentice, you
Nice.
know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm going to piss real quick.
Go
Yeah,
for
go
it.
for it.
Yeah.
Wrong, man.
Nice.
Wicked schmuck.
Wow, great combo.
I think because like whatchamacallit, like how he says like approach just anyone. I mean every business has walls.
Yeah.
Like I was in a tea station today, you know, to get boba with Adriana, and I looked at this wall and I was like, I wonder if they'll let me paint it because it's just plain green.
Okay.
And I was like, well, what'd I do?
Yeah.
And I was kind of like looking. I was like, because like we walked up to it and we're like, oh, is this even open? Like there's nothing on the wall,
Yeah.
nothing. And like,
Can I
you
paint
know,
on your wall?
yeah. Can I doodle here? Like
Yeah.
here's some of the stuff that I do. Like I can paint a boba or whatnot or things. But I think it's like those people are so fixated on their business and getting it to run and all these other things. They're like, oh, just paint it one flat thing of green.
Yeah.
Just do this.
They
you
probably
know?
think that it costs to get it painted and everything
I
too,
mean,
right?
But when you're
Like,
like
they just don't want you to mess with
when
their
you're
wall.
like
They're
first,
who's this
when you're
guy?
first starting as an artist, I think you just have to approach these people because I went to this one place called Pacific Coast or Pizza Coast Highway, and it's a place that we like to go and like eat and drink and stuff like that. And they have a crazy taxi machine in the back, and I was watching them paint like the walls just white, and I was like, and I like walked up to the guy, I was like, hey, like do you want like any art or like murals done? And then he kind of didn't really like understand what I was saying. He's like, no, we've already got it painted. And I was like, okay, well, like I'm like, do you want some kind of design or something? He's like, no, we've got a graphic designer. And I was like, okay, this is just falling on deaf ears.
Yeah.
But I think in my like community, my J community activism, it's like just approaching people. You'll see how receptive they are, but you have to put yourself out there, which is already kind of a big leap of faith. But I would say from like just speaking for you, Kent, it's like you're probably confident and to approach
Now I am. I
now
wasn't initially.
in the beginning. How like for your first couple ones where you like paint for free and stuff, like how'd you go about that?
Dude, I mean, I would go up on a wall and it would be a wall this big,
Yes.
and I would spend like 2 weeks on it.
Oh really?
And then now like recently I finished that other wall in like 3 days, and it's like 5,000 square feet.
Yeah. So you can like vouch for like your ability,
efficiency, organization, and you get a better version of what I typically show you, right? Like the design I show you. So what kind of art does your partner do?
She does all types. I'll show you a little bit once we wrap up. But she was working with tape a lot, like tape art.
Short or sorry.
Yeah, and then
She's multimedia.
she's always wanted to do like big pieces, but I don't think she's ever like.
Do you know Flex? FLEKZ.
Yeah, we actually worked with him at an event.
Really? Yo,
Yeah.
Flex is sick.
Yeah.
It's like one of the best tape artists.
Yeah, so she can do really crazy stuff like him.
Really?
Like when we first started following him, we actually saw like an art piece that he had in, where was it? In like Westminster or something. There was like a mall over there, and he had like this
That's
tape
so
piece.
sick. He's so good.
And he tagged him, so we followed him. And he reached out. He came for an event, and then I think she got inspired, with that type of art. But then I feel like she took it to another level.
Really?
She went
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
dope.
Like she made these coasters. She just makes a lot of things.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, these are sick.
But yeah, I'll show you afterwards. But
Oh, yeah. Or
so-
Hot X. Do you know Hot XT?
No.
Another
no.
one that's like, but it works with string instead of tape.
Oh.
Super sick.
Interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have a picture of her rug that she tuffed?
Oh yeah.
What?
I have
Oh,
a. She's,
Yeah,
she
it was
she
hard.
has like.
She could just do whatever.
Yeah,
she can
pretty much.
do like so much, but it's just the time. Like she has like a stressful job, and anyways. No
What does she
excuses.
want to do?
She wants to do
want
art. She wants
just
to do
like-
art. She really wanted to be here today to talk to you.
So she so she could hone in on like art.
Yeah.
'Cause that's really broad.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, what would
is-
it be?
That's a great question. I mean, I think she's always been curious about like murals and just working on big canvases, but hasn't had doesn't know like how to get into it. But I don't know if she has like a favorite. I don't know. She could do like so much, and she switches.
Yeah.
She's was doing like more abstract pieces more recently, and she got like really into the tape. But I think she kind of like almost like she does it and she figures it out and kills it, and then it's like, all right, what next? She's constantly like, I guess, evolving.
'Cause I think like, I mean, for her, it seems like she should go into the studio world.
Yeah.
And then she could work in one medium,
She would
get
love that.
crazy with it, launch a show,
Yeah.
be stressed out for like
Yeah,
6
yeah.
months to do it. And then she moves on to the next thing for her next show.
Yeah, I
So,
feel like that sounds about right.
yeah, because murals become kind of like repetitive after a while.
I was gonna ask you too, like, do you see, because it's so like tedious, like so draining, like, do you see like you can't do like, do you think like you can't do murals forever?
I know, yeah. Well, so I used to have another company called Okie Dokie, which is like an experiential design agency. So we've done like, we designed P. Diddy's 50th birthday.
Oh, nice.
We made like Yeah, 2 toy stores in New York. They're still around.
Nice.
Like we did the Britney Spears experience at the Grove. If you guys have seen that, like, so that was really stressful.
Yeah.
It was like crazy fabrication. Working with those clients is crazy.
Yeah.
But there was a point when I was like, I think 31, that I was just working so much, managing fabricators, running around, not sleeping, flying back and forth through New York and all these places, that like, it like broke my body. It literally broke my body.
Yeah.
Like I had 2 herniated discs.
No
I had to go
way.
get surgery. Like it messed me up.
Yeah.
So I do feel that moment. It's probably gonna come with murals at a certain point.
Yeah.
Or I have to just adapt. And
Get the robot back.
get the robot. Yeah, exactly.
Robot.
Yeah.
Robo
Hey, for
legs.
me.
Definitely.
Is there I think I might have already anything that like on your mind, anything you'd like to like share, or something you've I don't know, seen, excited about, maybe a thought that you had that's been interesting.
I mean, what's like the theme for Dipped in Nonsense? Why is that name like, how did that name come to be? And
so originally we have a clothing brand named Dipped, and
dope.
prior to pandemic, through just playing with this. So this originally was for our events, because we would have artists or live performances at our events for our clothing company. And so that's why she had made this purchase. And
we were messing around one time, and we'd probably recently gotten into podcasts maybe a year before or something. So we got the mic, and me and my roommates were just like fucking around talking to each other, and we're like, this is fun.
That's
just
sick.
talking, and then we're like,
she told me, hey, we could do a podcast with this. And I'm like, that's a great idea, let's do it. And so we kind of absorb so much content, news. We're opinionated. We dissect things to another level at times. And so this was originally just a platform for us to essentially digest the world around us. So it's like dipped in nonsense, like making sense out of the nonsense of what's happening. So essentially covering current events,
Do you guys
cultures,
use TikTok?
entertainment.
yeah, we've been using TikTok.
Okay, because I feel like the little clips
it
on
does
the
better
podcast
there for sure.
Yeah. Just taking those moments.
Yeah, exactly.
I have some friends find crazy success with their podcasts doing
Nice.
that.
Are these like focus, like specific pods, or
So
like?
I actually forgot what their podcast is called, but it's the people who started a Nectar Seltzer. Do you know, like the hard seltzer? Yeah. So, but they have this podcast where they're like shock. I was gonna go on their podcast, like, and maybe I should, but it just gets crazy.
Yeah.
So they have these like crazy moments because they're all just like fucked up on hard seltzer, which is great,
Yeah.
So
The first couple minutes, or like first 30 minutes, are coherent.
and then like
it's not. What's
and it picks up. So, but it's perfect TikTok content.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I can see this like you guys killing it on there.
Yeah, I think we are kind of going through the process of adjusting what we talk about or elevating it, because one thing we've realized is we love having guests, and everybody has an interesting experience to share, and a lot of people are doing interesting things. So kind of using this as a platform to share interesting individuals or people, highlighting them, spotlighting them, and just sharing their experience. And so it's been amazing having you on too. I'm like,
Oh, man.
you've
Yeah,
been killing it.
it's
Yeah,
great.
it's
1 week
wonderful.
delayed. But,
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. It's been awesome soaking in all this info.
Oh yeah. No, I'm super stoked to like. I don't know. I feel like 2023 is gonna be like a good.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Well, you're like,
Hey.
Kent, remember what you said on the podcast? We have you recorded. It's just like, his face is like, whoops, my bad. You
Each
know?
year always feels
Yeah,
like that.
definitely.
I feel like
It's just gonna be the year, and then like a month into it, it's like, oh
Yeah.
shit, like.
Because that's what everyone was saying, is like 2020 clear vision.
Yeah.
And we're like,
Yeah.
yeah, totally.
that.
And then all of a sudden, things started closing
It's like,
down.
bro, Kobe's
you know?
dead.
Yeah.
It's like, everyone's like, what?
I remember hearing that specifically. I was like, oh yeah, there's like a plane crash in Calabasas, and then my dad goes like, hey, where is it, Kobe? He died. I'm like, and I looked to my brother. I'm like, should we buy shoes? And he's like, that's so messed up,
That's-
dude. And then sure enough,
But you should have. Yeah. You should have.
you're like, ooh.
Shit's
It's like
crazy.
I'm like, bro, like no one, like, cause back then everyone Kobe's or whatever, but like it was so crazy to have that start off, the entire like kind of quarantine.
Shifted our reality.
Do you feel like this year's crazier than 2020?
What do you mean?
Nah,
Like
I feel like
2020 was pretty wild.
I feel like that
guess,
was
but-
pretty wild. I do feel like it's been interesting. Like everyone was like, "Oh, 2022, yeah, you know, it's even year. It's gonna be cool." And then like 5 days into
It's like
the year, it's like didn't we like assassinate somebody or something like that, or
Oh,
no,
yeah.
or the Ukraine war or
Yeah,
something
no,
broke out.
like
like,
the Ukraine war like happened, and then we're like, okay, back into our holes again.
yeah, with the like
You
two
know,
stuff like that.
unfortunate.
You know,
I don't listen to Kanye anymore. I listen to a lot of Kanye in January. I don't listen to Kanye at all
Oh,
anymore.
there you go. Little switch up. You know,
A little
you can't
switch
really-
up. You know, like I feel like a lot's changed.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
I think
you know?
it's like amazing how fast things are moving.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
when you actually think
it?
about like just even our experience with like social media and how it like has affected the way that people like move or interact with each other, like it's all happening so fast that when you kind of like just pull yourself out and think where you were like before all this, it's like, whoa, we're moving fast. Like even just the social norms and all these things that are constantly like
The algorithms and everything.
Yeah.
People not
Yeah.
using Facebook anymore
Yeah.
or Instagram or whatever. Yeah.
I think it was like a kind of the forced hand of kind of like technology, you know, like now
Yeah.
everywhere you go, contactless, touch the chip, stuff like that. But for 2 years, everyone's like, I gotta be forced to learn Twitter and Instagram and
Yeah.
get all these things for my content. Content creators were all at an even playing field. You know, you couldn't do production. You had to like just do whatever you could at home. And then because of that, you know, you have all these like kind of like do you watch Josh Weissman?
The cooking guy.
Yeah. Like he had his rise after Popeye's chicken.
Yeah, what
you know?
happened to him?
He's still doing things. He
really?
he had Uncle Roger on his thing.
He's kind of annoying.
He kind of is. He kind of is. Yeah, you know, but you know what it is? He's like that TikTok kind of cook.
Yeah,
because he
yeah,
goes
yeah,
on there
yeah,
and like
yeah.
because I showed it to
see
my
that.
friends like, bro, like dude, these cuts are making my head.
Yeah, I
hurt.
was like,
I'm like, dude, it's just
shut
like.
up.
And it's like I'm like I know why I like this and I hate myself for it, but his technique is good.
Yeah,
Like, you know
yeah.
the technique.
I
and
like
all the other-
Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
You know,
Mr.
like,
oh my, the Squid Games one,
dude,
We
this
talked
guy,
about that
Mr.
one.
Beast is fucking crazy, dude.
he's, like,
and he's such a
23.
nice guy.
He's
Yeah.
so great.
And he works his ass off.
He's killing it.
He has
so rare.
so rare. I'm like, wow, what kind of combo is that? Yeah.
what is he
You
doing?
can't
that's
have it
bad?
all?
What's
Yeah.
he doing that's bad?
Oh my god. Comes from like a military family with like his mom working her ass off. I was like, damn.
But he's
Okay.
just talking about like the same thing like you were talking about. Like he's like, yeah, man, when I was like in middle school starting the YouTube thing, he's like, yeah, people would make fun of me for like doing the videos and I'd only get like 5 views and all this stuff. But he's like, but that made me want to work harder. And I was like, see, there you go, son. Spite.
That's it.
You know,
Yeah.
you gotta prove all your
Yeah,
naysaying.
spite.
You gotta-
Let the hate flow through you. Yeah.
I still live so I can see my haters.
I'll
die,
show all of
know?
you.
But what's crazy though is like I look at him and then I look at previous celebrities.
Oh.
Like at least our kids are looking up to Mr. Beast instead of like
True.
I don't know Kim Kardashian
Yeah.
or like I
It's
don't know,
changing.
whoever. The fuck.
Yeah.
PewDiePie.
Yeah.
Is PewDiePie bad?
I don't
I heard
know.
he said some like racist shit.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did. No.
Oh, we
But I
don't
mean,
care
like,
for
yeah.
him.
But I think,
Oh,
that's,
okay.
I think that's good because like you have like even like despite you know his content, Josh Weissman, he's pretty wholesome.
Yeah, he's wholesome.
Yeah, he's
I
wholesome.
just think he's annoying.
Yeah, he's just wholesome.
Am I the asshole?
You know what it is? It's like
Maybe the problem's me.
me. I think it's like when we're like watching like Thor, like Love and Thunder, we're like we are no longer the demographic. You know?
Yeah.
We're like,
No,
this
we're
movie
definitely
sucked.
not.
This movie did not please me at all. I want my money back. It's like, bro, you're like 30 something watching a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Like you.
Speaking of movies and or content, if you guys want to
Oh, sure.
talk about just
Avatar
content
2?
or whatever.
Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh,
I
Did you
want
guys see
to.
it?
Not yet.
he spoke highly of it.
Avatar 2?
Oh, you were
I'm
saying
stoked.
because you quoted Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, Pinocchio.
Yeah.
I started.
I
Watching
mean, I love
the-
Guillermo del Toro.
Have you
That's
seen
good.
Do you have like even time to watch shows and movies?
Yeah.
He doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
He's like, man, dude, I just download that shit into my brain.
He's
while
like-
I'm sleeping. Go-
He's
Put
like
the chip in.
Yeah.
I just have ChatGPT write the synopsis for me.
he's like asleep, and then he has the AirPods in. He's just like,
Yeah.
it's like it plays
you-
in my brain.
Did you like it?
The what Pinocchio?
Pinocchio?
Fire! Oh, it was incredible. Definitely make time for it.
Perfect melancholy. I watched it. I watched
Ooh,
it.
Oh, you did?
I love horror movies also.
Oh,
I'm a big
oh.
horror movie fan.
What's
So.
the?
We should talk about
what's
horror
one that
movies.
like sticks out like
Yeah.
that you can think of?
I love Ari Aster, like as a
Oh.
director. Midsommar,
Yeah.
Ari-
Hereditary.
Yes. Which-
I love Brian Eggers or Ben Eggers also.
Yes.
Lighthouse.
The Lighthouse. You like A24?
I mean, A24 is amazing.
Bro.
Nice.
Like I was at the Daniels premiere.
No way!
For everything. I was like, oh my god, because I love those guys,
Dude.
and I've been following them
Really?
forever.
Oh,
like
shit.
since their like music video days.
Did you run into like what is it, James Jean and Michelle Yao?
Oh yeah, they were all there. Yeah, I like
so cool.
the Daniels were there too. Like
Dude,
honestly,
the
like,
Daniels
oh,
are so good.
that's
I did. I just recently. Well, Adrian don't listen to this, but I just recently bought the Felicia Chow like Daniels book from A24. Yeah, you should cop that.
The parallel
Yes,
universe,
yes.
whatever.
Oh,
Yeah, I bought that too.
That's so cool. Like
It's so
got the
good.
same taste.
Oh
We
yeah,
got the
dude,
same
I love it.
place.
I mean, I love James Sheen. I love all the like the Bad Robot. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Bad Robot,
Giant
Kid
Robot.
Giant Robot.
Eric
yeah.
Nakamura. Did you watch that documentary?
No,
Yo,
I
I'll
need
send
to
that to you.
though.
I'll send that to you.
Yeah.
Because that guy, like,
I love
I'm-
all that shit.
I'm glad he's getting his roses, dude. Katsuya.
I've met James Sheen before too.
I did too. I was at GR2,
so
and I was like,
cool.
I was like looking at like a Yosuke Yamamoto like gallery, and then all of a sudden he like pops out of the back. I'm like, what are you doing here, man? He's like, I live here. I'm like, aren't you supposed to be in a gallery in Korea, just like wandering around?
He's so
because that's
cool.
when he had his like retrospective, and I was like, cool. So then I took a picture with him. I'm like, and then like. My friend's like, what's wrong with you, Kevin? You can't speak. I'm like,
Yeah, he's like Picasso. He's like the Picasso of our generation.
Taiwanese Picasso. Like over at Kato, he has the big like piece. Oh my goodness.
Dude,
There's-
also David Choi. I went to his.
You went to David?
I went to his thing. His
No
show.
way.
He also gave me a shout out to
Bro,
everyone.
David Cho?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's
He is my idol. He is like,
Really?
he's the guy that like at 5th grade I was like, fucking nothing matters. And then I was like, I'm just gonna like own myself because watching like Dithers, Dirty Hands,
Oh, Dirty
all that
Hands is
stuff.
fucking epic.
Yeah, and then that's all from Eric Nakamura. It's just like I don't know. I'm just an art nerd. But like I hope to meet that guy because like Pizza Batman, bro. Like he's just
dude.
he's so good. And like
Do you know who we're talking? Like, all
Yeah,
the-
yeah.
Okay.
yeah, well, they said,
Okay.
what is it? When Chosho came out, I was like,
Oh
yo,
yeah,
you gotta
Cho was
watch
amazing.
this. This is
Cho-Cho.
crazy.
Yeah,
know?
I mean, I went to the physical experience.
No, you
everything.
did?
Like, yeah, it was
So
me, my
lucky.
friend Dana, who's a porn star, like, and we all went together. Like, we all got invited at the same time. It was
Dope.
crazy.
Wow.
And like, yeah, he gave me like a whole shout out.
That's
Dude, that's
tight.
nice.
It was like art and everything. Like, it was
So cool.
fucking
The
amazing.
little tear to your eye.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah,
I need to find my Facebook. You know.
Yeah.
get that little nod. But anyways, yeah.
Dude, my entire Instagram is art. Like, I am like the biggest art nerd. There's some crazy shit. It's like we're in a renaissance.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
who are some artists to look at? Or
Some artists to look at?
Who do you look at?
Like before my studio burned down, actually, Satoshi Kon, the director,
What?
it's like one of my favorite directors of all time. Rest in peace. He did like Perfect Blue,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
was bought by Darren Aronofsky and became Black Swan and Requiem
Oh
for a Dream.
Oh no way.
Yeah,
What the-
amazing.
Wow.
And he also made Paprika, which is one of
Yes.
the greatest animes of
Classic.
all
Oh
time.
my
Yeah.
gosh.
I mean, I'm a big Miyazaki fan, obviously.
Bro, I got something in the
Um,
works for you then.
damn, I mean, yeah, like the James Sheens of the world, Katsuya Terada, rest in peace, Kim Jong-ki.
my.
Like, yeah, that made me cry.
was so
I
harsh.
read manga. Like, I read so much manga.
Yeah?
Like, it's
Kentaro?
stupid. I spend
Yeah.
Kentaro Miura.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
rest
Did
in
that
peace,
happen?
Berserk.
Dude,
Yeah.
Berserk?
Exploding
That
Heart.
my
Bro,
God.
Exploding
R.I.P.,
Heart.
you know?
Too much
Crazy.
idle
After
game.
all that time.
Too
all
much-
that-
After all that time, it's still
20
good. Actually, the
years.
team that took over it is
Yes,
doing a good job.
yes.
Are they
Yeah,
doing
I
new
still
chapters?
read
Yeah,
it,
they
like,
continue.
I saw
They're-
My Hero Academia.
the arc.
Like, it's
What is it?
One Piece. I've been reading One Piece since 5th grade.
Wow.
dude.
Literally since
What
5th
chapter is
grade.
it on?
Amazing.
It's like 1060.
10 billion.
Yeah, some fuck. I love it. I think it is one of the greatest things
Dude.
ever.
Wow.
Chainsaw Man, the new anime
Yeah.
series.
Yeah.
I need to watch that, but I read the manga.
Oh yeah.
The manga's good.
Animation's fire.
Yeah.
I mean, Mob Psycho 1000.
Yeah.
You watched Demon Slayer?
I didn't get into it.
Oh, fair enough.
I didn't get into it. I don't know why. It felt like a generic teen anime. to
Shonen?
me.
Just
Shonen.
straight
It just felt like shonen.
Straight
Yeah,
shonen.
so, but maybe I need to finish it.
Yeah.
Attack on Titan also felt like shonen to
Oh,
me.
yes.
Also, I read about the ending and I was
Yeah.
like,
Ooh.
Unhappy with that.
yeah, like I ain't gonna watch it.
It's almost so hard, It's like the handoff of an ending. Like, even like what is it? Did you read Bleach or watch Bleach?
So I stopped reading it.
Yo, you stopped reading it and stopped watching it.
And I stopped. I don't watch anime.
Okay.
I
you
never
don't watch anime.
Yeah.
Oh, you read. Okay, so you read it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I read
Yeah.
usually the
Got
mangas. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I don't like the voice acting. I don't know. I
Yes.
can't get into it.
It's kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
So what's
It's
your
so slow.
top animes then?
Yeah,
That
top
you read?
mangas.
Top
Mangas.
mangas or top animes that I'm currently reading right now, or like
or just
historically.
I'm kind of
currently reading
curious
and
of
then
Okay, I'll
and
do
then
both. I'll do
historically.
both.
Okay.
So I think Blood on the Tracks,
Ooh.
Chinowarachi, it's incredible. It's about this dude. It's fucking. So it's about this boy who finds out his mom is like a psychopath, basically.
Wow.
And like, but finds out in a way where it's like she's this really loving mom, and his cousin is like making fun of him. And there's this one chapter where he sees the mom push the cousin off a cliff
Oh,
in an attempt to kill him. And like, it's him trying to struggle between his memory of whether that really happened because his mom like pretends it didn't happen versus like his mom actually being a psychopath.
Trippy.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds wild.
So that's like, it's not done yet, but I've been reading that.
Oh wow.
One Piece, consistent, and Berserk, like easily.
Yeah.
One Piece and Berserk are always going to be in my top.
Mm-hmm.
I've also been going back and reading what's that manga called? Do you know Atom Boy, the guy who wrote Atom Boy, or
Astro Boy.
Astro Boy in America?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I know who you're
Atom
talking
Boy.
about. Though.
Yeah.
He's kind of like the guy who also
Oh my God.
he has that style.
Osamu something. But anyways, I've been reading his old stuff.
Like Falcon 9 or something
That's
like
been
that.
good.
Does it do Falcon 9?
Aiko, I mean, like, I think the Akira manga is incredible.
Yeah.
It's like one of the greatest of all time. Have you guys read Nausicaa?
No.
Valley of the Wind by Miyazaki?
Yes. Yeah.
So it was a manga before he turned it into his first movie, Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Holy shit. And it goes so deep.
It's big.
Past the,
I was gonna
it
ask, like,
does.
how's
it
the
goes past the
adaptation?
anime.
No way.
Yeah. And it's all about like nuclear weapons and things.
Yeah.
Oh,
nuclear-
fascinating.
Oh yeah.
Because what's the opening sequence for the new Star Wars trilogy is essentially the
That-
intro to Nazca.
Really?
Yeah. Have you seen the
I haven't
what
watched
is
any
it?
of the
The
Star
Force
Wars,
Awakens.
like the new
Like
ones.
it's literally like Rey's like going through and finding some stuff and like dropping down. It's the whole intro.
Really?
and I'm
With
like,
the bugs and
yeah,
stuff?
no, not so much the bugs, but just like the whole kind of like sequence of things.
Wow.
And I'm like, but it's crazy because it's like all these people are just stealing, like essentially these shot for shot things from like Japanese
Yeah.
like anime and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
Deep Blue, and like
Oh,
the
Perfect
scene,
Blue, yeah.
Perfect Blue,
So
and like
good.
the scene where like what is it? Jennifer Connelly's yelling in Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah, in the
stuff
bathtub.
like that.
Yeah.
Like, all these kind of like overlapping layers, but
That movie's
because
so good.
yeah, Western society is not aware of any of this.
Yeah.
It's just like
Easy to
okay,
steal.
we'll just
Easy to steal.
Yeah.
I mean, great artists steal. But then they like bastard. It's just so
Yeah.
bad.
yeah, they do.
yeah.
Like who can we get for this role? Scarlett Johansson. It is.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
man.
I
Like,
will say, my bad. Edge of Tomorrow. with
Edge of
Tom
Tomorrow was
Cruise.
sick.
Have you
It
read
was
the
cool.
It was
book?
based on a Japanese book, though.
I read
Yeah.
the manga actually. And
You did?
the-
I haven't read it.
Oh, when you read it,
Dude.
you'll get a deep appreciation
Yeah.
for how close the movie actually was to the
Nice.
manga.
Really?
Like it veers in the end parts, but like so much of it
Yeah.
was like exact. I was like really impressed that they managed to.
Oh, okay.
adapt
Now I'm
it
gonna
that
read it
well.
because I thought that movie was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
so good.
It's really good.
So I was like, I'm not gonna see this movie. It's a dumb name. But then I read like the synopsis of like, oh, what the original author was trying to do. It's like a video game.
It's a
you
video.
progress and you go. I'm like, okay.
It's like Infinite Mario,
Yeah.
parallel universe, Infinite
Yeah.
Mario. Yeah.
yeah. But Tom Cruise, I was like,
He did his
try to
stuff.
stay-
Yeah,
but it
okay.
was cool when like the thing just spits like whatever blue stuff, and he's just like losing
And
it.
then he's just back.
yeah, he's just like watching some dudes just get exploded. He's
Damn. I'm a big
everything.
movie nerd also, which it sounds like you guys are as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Like, Mob Psycho 1000.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
really amazing.
One Punch Man, Mob Psycho.
Oh, One
Yeah,
Punch Man.
yeah.
Oh my god.
shout outs to that artist getting some recognition.
Do one. Do you read the webcomic? It's
Oh, dude.
so badly drawn.
Yeah.
But it was like
So
the
good.
appeal of it was just so like
But Murata is like amazing. He's like one of the greatest artists. Like, oh my god. Yeah. What about you guys? All right. Top three animes, top three manga.
Easy. Well, that's hard, man. I'm an
Animes.
avid anime.
Yeah.
my,
I gotta
Anime.
go with Naruto just because it's a
Naruto is
classic.
classic.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just a
Naruto's
classic.
classic.
I was like waiting. I was like, I hope I survive long enough to see this Naruto versus Sasuke fight, and it still took took like 10
man.
years.
I
you
know, seriously.
But then it
It
happened.
didn't need to take 10 years.
It
by the
didn't
way.
at all. There's so
And
much.
here,
I
some
stopped-
filler.
I just stopped watching for like 4 or 5 years and
There
then
you go.
came back to it. Filler list. I loved Hunter x Hunter.
Ooh.
Oh,
It's fire.
The 99
when
or
is
the
he
new?
ever gonna finish it though?
Oh,
He's
Dude,
restarting it.
That Chimera Ant arc
is
is one of the
amazing.
greatest pieces of writing of all time.
Tell him when all the shit's going down and within that 30-minute time span, it's just like
I
10.
know.
It's just like 15 episodes of like some of the best anime I've ever seen,
good.
and no one else has seen it. I'm like, can't
You
even
guys haven't seen
can't
Hunter
even
x
talk with
Hunter?
them about it.
No, I was busy.
I started it. I need to finish it.
Just
read
read talking
it.
about the new one. Or are you talking about? Have you seen the 99 one?
No.
Yeah, that one's a lot darker. Or like, well, because like so you guys are talking about like the manga, but like I follow this like retro Japan TV, and they always like shoot like oh yeah, you know, Yu Yu Hakusho, like
Oh,
Hunter
yeah.
x Hunter 99, like, you know, the old like
That was the
golden
first manga I
era,
ever read,
you
Yu Yu
know,
Hakusho, yeah.
like oh dude, that thing was just like the mind games and the character, the like the demon tournament with Toguro.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
Toguro,
this why has he got such big shoulders? You
he's
know?
like killing everyone.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh my
Popping
god.
their heads out.
Because like that was the stuff that we would watch on Toonami.
Yeah.
And that's the only
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Remember, I don't know if you remember going to like a mall, but like they had like Suncoast, and then they had like
Suncoast?
Suncoast was like a VHS place in the mall, but they had like an anime
yeah,
section,
yeah.
and that's where I bought like my first manga because Barnes and Nobles and Borders didn't carry it, you know, back in the
yeah.
day, or Tower Records.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
You know, and stuff like that. But
Now
I was
look
just
at it.
wondering, yeah. Nowadays,
Dude,
like,
that last arc too.
Yeah.
Oh my
With
god.
him
With the
versus-
frick Toguro,
yeah.
whatever his name
oh
is.
yeah, it's the Hiei.
He had the 5 personalities or whatever.
Dude.
Wild times.
No, dude, most
All
definitely. But I would say like
Vampire
What is
Hunter
it?
D. Oh.
what about you, Steph?
I'd say so one of the first animes that I don't really read them, but I did read like Berserk a little bit, which was
Wait, how
awesome.
far did you get though in Berserk?
So like
Because
we
it
had
changes.
watched-
It gets crazy.
Yeah.
It depends how far you read.
The horse, the demon horse.
This was like 2016
17.
maybe. So I know that there's like maybe 2 movies out or something. I watched the 2 movies, and then I don't think there was like any other like visual pieces out. So like I read.
I really hope you watched the 1997 anime
Did I
instead
watch
of the
it?
new one.
Oh my gosh,
the
good him.
2.5D.
I really hope you did not watch what's on Netflix.
Oh no.
I don't
The
know.
movies, the 3 movies.
Yeah.
Is what we
That-
saw. Yeah.
Apparently
Just because you said
remastered.
movies, I'm
Yeah.
afraid that
That's the
it
golden
doesn't do
arc.
it justice.
Damn.
Doesn't do it justice.
I saw that, and so Full Metal Alchemist was like the
Yes.
first anime that like I got all, or one of the first that I got all the way through, and I really enjoyed that. It got me more interested. And then so Full Metal Alchemist, and then Death Note. We watched Death Note. I don't know if
Death
it's like
Note's
my,
good.
my top, but it's just ones
Crazy.
that like stand out.
There's new side stories for Death Note. I just got a bookmark from Kinokuniya.
Nice.
So there's more content. Yeah,
funny.
there's more content. I was like, anything with more content.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more.
Death Note is good.
Yeah, and I actually enjoyed Demon Slayer because I just love the colors. It's so vibrant. I don't know. I just love the way it looks visually. It's like
I just felt like so repetitive. Like maybe I just need to finish it. You
Yeah.
know, like
I think you just gotta finish it.
I
At
just
least
think
what I like is there's like a part where is it Tanjiro, right? He's in the house, and there's like a demon that
Oh, the
beats
hog?
the
Oh,
drum.
yeah.
And
Oh,
he
yeah, yeah,
taps
yeah,
the
yeah.
drum. I just like how close
and
to
it like turns the house around.
yeah.
turns the
So they
house,
continue to put him in situations where he's like very close to dying, and it's like, oh.
But that's like
I just
every
how-
anime. That's
But
it's such
I
a
like,
trope.
I like
dude.
how they present it though. It's
Yeah.
like
Every-
more interesting to
Every
me.
arc, they just like die and then they go to the health spa and then they get like
Get close.
poke centered up.
Yeah.
You know, but no, but like they like
It's a senji bean. Like,
yeah, the last one was like, oh, eat some edamame, you'll be better. You know, but they definitely like that last entertainment arc. They slashed
they
up.
went
They-
crazy.
I'm like, you guys, your arms are broken. Like things are severed.
Yeah.
How
Is
do
it
you-
worth watching? It's good.
I
Okay.
feel like
Okay.
it gets really hype
yeah.
and like
Okay.
honestly,
I'll finish it.
just or if you finish like the first series and then just watch the Mugen Train, then after that you're like, okay, you're like all everything's on the table. You know?
Okay.
Where it's
Is
like-
it done?
No, it's still going.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like the sister's still like a demon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
probably it's got a couple more seasons left in it.
Got it.
My Hero's been crazy too. I haven't read the manga, but I've just been
I
watching
stopped
it.
reading it after a certain point.
so-
I don't know
Yeah.
why. Like
Yeah.
it just kind of got boring to me.
It's like, oh, here's new people and a new team.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
It's,
that's what it became.
it's like
Because it was
Dragon Ball
interesting
Z.
at first, like, oh, the hero is like
Yeah.
this weird, like
Yeah.
skinny character, and like can only do this.
But in the end, Deku is just
The bad guy is
Goku.
interesting.
Hey, no spoilers.
I'm just saying Deku is Goku because he's just like super strong and he like develops these powers and it's
One
like,
of the main bad guys is interesting because his motive is similar
yeah.
to like Watchmen, where it's like you need to just destroy everything and create the main villain. You know, you need to be the main villain to create heroes. And I'm like, yeah, that's an interesting, but it's Watchmen.
Yeah,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
just
you
like
got to
that.
be Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, it's like Dr. Manhattan or Ozymandias.
Oh yeah,
right.
he's just like,
Who
yeah, like,
released
you know,
the
everyone other the space Kraken.
yeah, exactly,
whatever,
exactly.
you know, you need
Or
a
turn
common
Dr.
enemy.
Manhattan into the bad guy. Yeah, in the movie.
Depending upon which one you want.
Which version?
No,
Right.
definitely. But
Very wonderful, guys. So,
Yeah, I could talk anime forever.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we probably
it's,
should cut it off.
That's
Cut
too
it off.
easy.
Yeah.
So normally we like to wrap up our episodes. We leave our listeners with a final thought. So we'll go around. Everyone can share their final thoughts, unless there's like any last thing any of y'all would like to present, announce, share.
I mean, I'll go first. Be confident in who you are and embrace your flaws, your insecurities, and what interests you. And eventually, you keep doing that enough, and I think you'll find people who love you.
Oh wow.
Very wonderful.
Damn, that's good. Something I've been thinking about lately is like pretty much along those lines. I feel like it's so easy to it's easy for me, I guess, sometimes to like doubt myself, or like I don't know what it is, but just like caring too much about what other people think has like, I felt like, you know, in the past few years of my life has like held me back from like being my like best self in a way, or just like, you know, I just got too in my head about like what other people thought, and I feel like I'm learning to not give a fuck and just to like I am who I am, and I just need to fucking embrace it. And the people that are gonna fuck with me are gonna be right there by my side, and the ones who don't, then it's like finding your audience. Like there's gonna be like your audience. There's gonna be people that fuck with you, and just like focus on that. And that's kind of something I'm working on, just like embracing myself for who I am, and it is what it is. Like you know, that's it.
Do you
Excellent.
mind if I segue to him for?
Yeah.
So like, how do you deal with your haters?
I don't have haters.
Hey.
Nice.
Fair enough.
That's really good. My advice would be, especially after talking to you, thank you so much for this wonderful conversation,
Oh,
Kent.
no, thank you guys.
I would say to our listeners, don't be afraid to just do it and go for it. And it doesn't hurt to try. And especially if it's a nagging thought that's been with you for a while and you continue to think, man, I really just want to do that. I feel like I should do that. And that thought hasn't left you. Then you should take action on it, or be comfortable with allowing that thought to go. But I think as long as you don't answer that itch, or you know, you just continue to try to ignore it, it's going to be something that's present in your mind until you either take action or decide to let it go. So that would be my last thought of the pod, is just go for it. Try it. See how you feel about it. Fuck it.
Nice. I was just thinking of a random thing,
Yeah.
but because like Hunter x Hunter went on such a long hiatus,
Yeah.
and there's this culture of manga artists in Japan where they have to work their fucking asses off until they're dead, and then they end up not finishing anything. Like similar to like Real or Vagabond, which is one of my favorite mangas of all time.
Oh, dude.
He's not even gonna finish it
Oh, is he not?
because he burned out. You know,
Dang. So
and I just want to say, like, it's better, in my opinion, it's better to like complete something than it is to like work yourself to death trying to make something perfect, you know, and burn yourself out.
Yeah.
And it's like very similar to what you just said, where it's like diving in and knowing that you could just embrace it. Don't do it to the point where you're sacrificing yourself, though.
Amazing. Yeah. Excellent advice, guys. It's been an incredible episode of the Dipped in Nonsense podcast. Thank you so much to our special guest, Kent. And we hope you'll join us next time. Toodles, y'all.
Arrivederci.